The Houston Rockets just bet their entire future on Durant, a two-time Finals MVP and future Hall of Famer. Their championship odds jumped from 18-1 to plus 850 at ESPN BET overnight, all because of one move. Meanwhile, the Phoenix Suns parted ways with a player who averaged 26.8 points per game, the highest in their franchise's history. This seismic shift in NBA power balance was driven by one powerful relationship between player and coach. Will this move cement Durant's all-time great status or become the gamble that breaks him? To answer that, you have to start with how things unraveled in Phoenix. Phoenix entered the season with sky-high expectations. With Kevin Durant joining Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, the Suns looked like a juggernaut on paper. The hype was real. 3 elite scorers, a massive payroll, and a franchise ready to chase a title. Anything less than a championship run would be a disappointment. But the reality was brutal. The chemistry never materialized, and the team struggled to find a rhythm. Defensive lapses became routine. Instead of climbing to the top of the Western Conference, the Suns found themselves fighting just to stay relevant. The losses piled up, and the team's record fell far short of what anyone predicted. When the dust settled, Phoenix finished with a 36-46 record, 11th in the West, missing the playoffs entirely. This wasn't a case of bad luck in a playoff series. It was a full season collapse for a roster built to win right now. As the losses mounted, the franchise had no choice but to make sweeping changes. Phoenix overhauled its leadership, signaling a complete shift in philosophy. The front office looked at the expensive, underperforming roster and decided it was time to hit reset. The dream of a super team was over. Instead of chasing a title, the Suns pivoted to rebuilding, hoping to salvage what they could from a failed experiment. The fallout was immediate. A roster loaded with talent, but no direction, no chemistry, and no path forward. Amid this chaos, Durant continued to deliver on the court. He averaged 26.6 points per game, the highest single-season scoring average in franchise history. Night after night, he was the lone bright spot, carrying the offense and putting up numbers that would have made headlines in any other context. But his historic production only highlighted the dysfunction around him. The Suns became a paradox. Their best player was reaching new heights, while the team as a whole was sinking to new lows. This situation put Durant in a difficult position. At this stage in his career, every season counts. He's chasing legacy, not just stats. Staying in Phoenix meant embracing a long rebuild, wasting precious years when he could still compete for a championship. For a player of his caliber with so much at stake, standing still wasn't an option. The collapse of the Suns didn't just end a super team experiment. It forced Durant to confront the reality that his championship window in Phoenix had slammed shut. With Durant's future in question and the Suns looking to move on, the league saw a rare opportunity. Suddenly, one of the greatest scorers in NBA history was back on the trade market. And when a player like Durant becomes available, teams across the league start making calls. But the real reason Houston emerged as Durant's next destination wasn't just about assets or cap space. It was all about the connection between Kevin Durant and Ime Udoka. This relationship went deeper than most star and coach pairings in the league. They built mutual trust and respect during their time together with the Brooklyn Nets, and those ties only strengthened while working side by side with Team USA. For Durant, it wasn't just about finding a new team, it was about finding the right leader. While Miami entered the fray as a serious contender, the Heat balked at parting with core young pieces. They wanted Durant, but not at the cost of sacrificing their future. Their offers, while tempting, never reached the level that Phoenix required. The Heat's hesitation gave Houston the opening they needed. The Rockets didn't hesitate. They knew what it would take to land a superstar and acted decisively. Houston's front office put together a package that was impossible to ignore. Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the number 10 pick in next year's draft, and 5 future second-round picks, spanning to 2032. It was a clear signal they were willing to pay the price to win now. That bold offer, paired with Durant's trust in Udoka from their Nets and Team USA days, sealed the deal. But there was more to it than just the trade package. The Rockets had recently signed Udoka to a long-term extension, making him one of the highest-paid coaches in the league. This move sent a message to the rest of the NBA and to Durant himself. Houston was committed to stability. In contrast to the coaching carousel Durant endured in Phoenix, the Rockets offered a clear vision and a steady hand. For a veteran superstar who's seen how quickly things can unravel, that sense of security was invaluable. Durant wasn't just joining a team, he was joining a project built around a coach he trusted and an organization willing to make bold moves. The Rockets' aggressive pursuit and commitment to Udoka created the perfect landing spot. The comfort of a familiar voice on the sideline, paired with the promise of a stable future, outweighed the allure of other contenders. Durant chose Houston not only for the roster, but for the belief that Udoka could guide him to one more title. With everything in place, expectations soared. The Rockets had their superstar, their coach, and a clear vision. But with that vision came pressure. Pressure that would reshape not just a franchise, but the legacy of one of the game's greatest scorers. For Durant, arriving in Houston means stepping into the spotlight at a moment when his career narrative hangs in the balance. The stakes are clear. His legacy will be shaped by what happens next. He enters next season at age 36, turning 37 in September, and the expectations are unlike anything he's faced before. The Rockets' title odds didn't just improve, they skyrocketed from 18-1 to +850 at ESPN BET the moment the deal was announced. That's not a normal reaction to a trade. It's a signal that the basketball world expects Durant to be the difference between irrelevance and a real shot at a championship. What makes Houston believe so strongly? It comes down to Durant's remarkable consistency. Over 3 consecutive seasons, the NBA's longest ever, he has averaged over 25 points per game while shooting at least 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and 90% from the line. No other player has maintained that level of efficiency for so long. He's not just a scorer, he's the most reliable offensive weapon in the league. For a Rockets team desperate for efficient scoring, this is exactly what they need. The numbers back it up. Last season, Houston struggled to generate quality looks. They ranked 27th in effective field goal percentage on off-the-dribble jumpers and 24th on all jumpers. Their offense bogged down in isolation too, where they finished 27th in points per direct isolation. These are the exact areas where Durant excels. According to ESPN research, he led the league in points per direct isolation among players who ran at least 200 isolations. For a young roster built around Alperen Sengun and Ime Thompson, Durant's ability to create his own shot and bail out broken possessions could be transformative, but with all that upside comes risk. At 36, coming off an ankle injury, he faces profound durability questions. The Rockets are not just betting on his talent, they're betting that he can stay healthy and carry the load as the #1 option through a full season and a playoff run. If his body holds up, he could elevate Houston instantly. If not, the gamble could cost them years of progress and a mountain of assets. This is the crossroads for Durant's legacy. His championships with the Golden State Warriors brought him rings, but also critics. Many labeled those titles as easy rings, arguing he joined a ready-made super team that had already won 73 games. Durant was seen as a luxury, not the architect. Now the situation is different. In Houston, there's no dynasty in place. He's not joining the party. He's expected to build it from scratch. The pressure is squarely on him to lead, to elevate, and to deliver when it matters most. The market's faith in him is clear, but so is the challenge. The narrative has shifted. If Durant can take this young Rocket squad from the lottery to the top of the NBA, it would be the crowning achievement of his career. Proof that he can win as the driving force, not just as a supporting star. But if he falls short, or if injuries sideline him, the old questions about his ability to win without a stacked roster will only get louder. The trade has set the stage for a defining chapter. What happens next will determine whether Durant is remembered as a player who could change a franchise's destiny, or as one whose greatest successes always came with an asterisk. This is a high-risk wager on one player's ability to rewrite his own story. For the Houston Rockets, it's a bold move to chase a championship right now. For Kevin Durant, the real challenge is crafting a contender around a young core led by Sengun and Thompson, proving he can elevate a team from the ground up, not just join one that's already built. The basketball world will be watching every step. Let us know in the comments. Does Durant have enough left to pull off this gamble?